Good morning or good afternoon or maybe even good evening, depending on where you're dialing in from. I am Yvonne from Colorado, and today is Tuesday, July 18th. I want to welcome you to the Winner Within coaching call brought to you by the Unit of Prosperity, or UOP for short. We host these personal development calls Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern for the benefit of entrepreneurs and marketers everywhere. So you can feel free to invite your teams, no matter which company you represent, for some daily motivation and inspiration. Now, just in case this is your first time tuning into a Tuesday call, let me introduce our coach to you. He is a visionary, strategist, and entrepreneur. He is an energetic, highly impactful speaker and a fierce motivator. Utilizing his passion, he likes to take an aggressive approach to personal development by challenging what people see as the norm. His story is a remarkable one. From a very young age, he has had an entrepreneurial spirit, but lacked the guidance of positive role models to hone his abilities. Even though he faced many pitfalls and major challenges along the way, with faith, will, determination, and perseverance, he was able to reach his goal of becoming a successful entrepreneur. He has an affinity for community outreach and volunteerism. He has served in many leadership capacities over the years and is currently a member of the board of directors for both the United Negro College Fund and Sister Cities in Jacksonville, Florida. His vision is to motivate and teach others the power of effectively utilizing knowledge, resources, and network ability to obtain definitive goals and reach their greatness. So grab something to write with, take some notes as he shares with us his topic for the day. It's feeding season. It is my pleasure to bring to the call Dr. Adrian Gentry. Dr. Gentry, are you ready?
I am ready, Yvonne from Colorado. I thank you so much. Every week you introduce us with such enthusiasm. I love myself after I listen to you.
You are so welcome. Take it away.
No problem. First and foremost, I always like to put a couple ground rules. I'm a meat and potatoes type of guy. So I give you what I got and I get off the phone. 2, I get kind of passionate when I speak. So when I started getting a little loud, don't worry. I'm not about to pass out. It's just how I talk. 3rd, every time I speak, you're going to get this garden. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry, but that's just who I am. I like to start off every topic with a little story to kind of drive home points. So this week, I was sitting back and I was thinking about I used to be in the mortgage industry years ago. And one day I received a phone call from a young lady. She had like a 550 credit score. She said, "Hey, can you help me out?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I put together a loan document. I put together a package for her. I sent it over to her. I think I was going to say for $628 a month, and I was going to get out of the debt within 10 to 15 years. She called me back. She cussed me slap out. I'm like, wait. Ma'am, you don't qualify for a loan. Like, how can you cuss me out if you really don't qualify for this loan? I'm like, man, that's kind of messed up. So I didn't really think about this as a business. That's just how business goes. You win some, you lose some. So she hung up the phone, and about 3 months later, she gave me a call back, and she says, "Adrian, can you help me? My home's in foreclosure." And at that point in time, I looked at it. She had 2 legs. I couldn't help her. And that really bothered me. My whole mission in life is to help people. That's what God has placed on my heart to do, and so that's what I wake up every day to do. So all day it bothered me, and I got home that night, and I'm watching TV, and everything I turned to, negativity. I'm like, wait a minute, like, everything on the news at this point is negativity, and you know they're talking about mortgages at the time because it was at the time when the mortgage industry was crashing and people were losing jobs. So I flipped to the news, negativity, flip to another channel, negativity, flip to another channel, negativity. And then God spoke to me at that time and he said, faith eats. You have to feed those areas of life where we need faith the most. So today I want to ask a question. Are you stuck in a place in your life that based on the information that you've been feeding on? This woman was feeding on all the wrong information. Everything she kept telling me is my sister said, my sister said, my sister said. My sister told me that this was a bad loan. My sister said I need to watch out for mortgage brokers. My sister said, are you stuck right now based off of someone else's fears? Are you stuck right now based off some information that someone else has poured into you? Her sister was feeding her fears, and by doing so, she was making her stagnant in her life. Your dreams are much like the lady that was the lady's house that called me that day. They're either lived in, or they could be completely empty with a residue of regret. Understand, what you feed on becomes a part of every decision you make. Information creates belief systems. Belief systems dictate actions. Living on dictate actions. Half of the people right now are living their life based off of some belief system that someone else has poured into them. All of those, and those actions play a major role in all of your success and failures. So today I'm going to give you two factors of success. I'm going to give you two factors that help switch your belief system and drive your success. One, you have to feed on the right information. One thing that I've learned in my life is wrong information will cost you millions. Years ago, I had the chance to work with this business owner. He built a company about $6 million, roughly within like 2 years. Very lucrative company, very profitable. So one day we were doing a business deal that could have more than quadrupled his company the first year with this new deal. And so we're sitting down and we get into a battle back and forth. Someone gave him the wrong information about how much it would cost per pound of food that we were selling. He relayed that information to the vendor. First thing happened, the vendor got upset. He never went back. He never checked the information to see if it was correct. And it cost him millions of dollars. Second thing I've learned is there's always two sides of the story. The story that we hear most is the story of failure. But what about the story of success? What about the person that began to defy all odds and went above and beyond and was able to win? I love this story dealing with the colonel. How many no's did he get before he got a yes? Most people are talking to the person who stopped at the first no. They went out, they tried something, they got a no, they got rejection, they walked away, and they were completely scared. They're feeding on the wrong information. Secondly, you have to feed often and consistently. I love psychology. I'm a book geek, right? So one of the theories that I kind of hold true to my heart is Maslow's law of competency. Maslow's law of competency takes you from a psychological state of progression where a person must move and travel from incompetent to competence. The first stage, you go from incompetent to incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. And most people are feeding on our minds enough to know that we are lost. We're lost. We're living on someone else's thoughts. L-O-S-T, lost. You're living off someone else's thoughts of what your life should look like. You're living off someone else's thoughts of what's possible or what's impossible. You're living off someone else's thoughts, someone else's failures, someone else's fears. And when we begin to feed a little bit and begin to become, what they say, woke now? That's the new word for it? Woke. When you become woke, you move on to the next level of conscious incompetence. We begin to understand that there's something missing and we start to take action towards it. We begin to address the issue. Only when feeding can you begin to nourish the mind, moving it one step closer to your dream. Then you begin to shift to the next level, conscious competence. This is the stage where you really begin to fight for your dreams. Most people are allowing the fear of others to stop them from living them. Most people are so caught up and what the world thinks that you can and cannot do, it's stopping you from being great. You have to know something before you can put in the work. And this is that stage. You really begin to have to focus your energies and your efforts in towards winning. You can't believe the lies anymore. You can't. You got this. You know if you just keep pushing, you can do anything you set your mind to. You can move mountains in this stage. You just have to push harder. See, this is the stage where most champions are born. Most champions are born in the conscious, confident state. They fight harder. They work harder than anyone else. Mr. Reginald Simpson said the other night on a call, he said, you can't outwork me. That's a powerful statement because guess what? Hard work is always going to be talent if talent doesn't work. You have to continuously feed your mind the right information. How many books are you reading a day? A week? A month? What are you watching on TV daily that is telling you that you cannot do it? Who's in your circle? See, I'm a firm believer in cutting people off. Some people say, oh, no, that's my friend. We've been down for 20 years. I don't care if we've been down for a lifetime. If you are feeding me the wrong information, you are prohibiting me from going to the next level. And many of us on this phone call right now have to get that mindset. You have to remove the negative information out of your life. You have to remove the argumentative people out of your life. You have to remove the controlling people out of your life, the negative people out of your life, egotistical people out of your life. Because in that stage of hard work, when you're fighting for your dream, you cannot have anything dragging you back down. It's time to focus in on what you want. Stop letting people step all over you and get up and fight. Feed those fears. Feed your success. Because you're the only one that can possibly do it. And if you're allowing someone else to stop you from feeding on the right information, you're only stopping yourself from growing. You're prohibiting your kids from having the life that they should have, the life that you set out and say you want for them. Once again, this is a stage where the champions are built. This is where legacies are created. This is the process that everybody talks about when you're going through the woods and you see the lions and the tigers and the bears, and on the other side, guess what? There's success. This stage is where all the feeding that you've been doing begins to pay off. And then you can move to the last stage, unconscious competence. You know it so well that it becomes second nature. See, Michael Jordan didn't have to think about his shot. He listened to the coaches. He watched game film. He practiced it every day. There was a story about Michael Jordan. They said he would listen to anything, any kind of critique that was positive to help him with his shot. Now imagine that. I got 2-3 rings. Everybody know I'm the champion on this team. Everybody know that I can win. But he would sit back, and Steve Kerr came to him one day and say, hey, you're getting kind of lazy on your left. I'm getting lazy on my left. Appreciate you, Steve. And went out and practiced it all day long. See, he didn't have to think about his shot when he got in the game. He didn't have to think about who he had to cross over. This is where success lives, in an unconscious, competent state. You fed so much on the right information. You have the right people in your life feeding your spirit, encouraging you, telling you you can do it. You've had the coaches giving you the information. You accepted the constructive criticism. You accepted the punches and the kicks. You fed to a point where now you're over full. Now you're succeeding at everything that you're doing. You're not even thinking about it no more. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, God did not give us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. It's time to discipline your actions. The average person rides an hour and a half to work every morning. What are you doing in that time frame? Are you listening to music? Are you listening to personal development? Average person watches 4 hours of TV a day. Is that your reading time? Is that the time that you're actually building your legacy and working towards your dream? Is that the time you're feeding your spirit? Because no success comes without discipline. Only inaction comes from fear. You have to start believing in what you hear in the positive realm. Because success is possible to anyone on this phone call. Success is possible for anyone that can believe in themselves enough to get up and defy odds. It's time to stop being the majority. See, majority of people want to sit back and complain and make excuses. Majority of people will sit back and listen to the excuses. Majority of people will not read more than a book and a half in a year. Majority of people have less than $5,000 in their bank account right now. But it's amazing because the 1% read on average 30 books a year. That's crazy. The 1%, the minority. They sit down and sit down and create a schedule the day before they go into a day. They plan the next 5 years of their life. Do you have a plan in place? Do you want to be the majority of the minority? Because 1% of the world controls 90% of the income. Come on now. I always fight to be the minority. Because the majority doesn't have it right. The majority of people are going to tell you your business doesn't make sense. Majority of people are going to tell you, listen, that personal development, I was in a relationship one time and I had to get out of it because the woman said, I believe you're brainwashed by all the books you read. I was completely broke at the time. But all I did was keep feeding my spirit. Right now is feeding season. Stop feeding on other people's fears. Stop letting people tell you what you cannot do. Stop wasting time. I think I can't think of a quote right now. They say, well, if you're not making $100,000 a year, you don't have time for TV. Replace that time with book time. Begin to feed. You have to listen to what do you need inspirational to lift you up? What do you need inspirational to encourage you? Stop listening to the lies because you were built to be great. Most people are allowing the fears of others to stop them from living their dreams. It's time out for being broke. It's time out for regret. It's time out for watching everybody else leave their dreams while you sit back and wait on the boat to come on. There will never be a good time to do anything that's biblical. So it's feeding season. What you feed your spirit would ultimately determine your destiny. I'm going to say that one more time. What you feed your spirit will ultimately determine your destiny. When you get off this call today, I want you to sit back and I want you to think about what are you feeding yourself? Who in your life do you have to remove to go to the next level? Who's frustrating you? Who's aggravating you? What motivational speakers are you listening to on a daily basis? Who are you letting pour into your life? Because the wrong people pouring into your life will have you in a place where you're sitting in a room thinking about killing yourself. I was there before. Letting the wrong people pour into your life will have you completely confused as to who you are. Letting the wrong people pour into your life will leave you in a state of such confusion, you don't even know if your dreams are even possible. It's feeding season. You're amazing, and you're great because God said so. You have a fantastic day.